Happy Homemade Kitchen Restock. There was a time there where I wasn't sure if I was going to ever say that again, and I'm happy that I'm back and that I am. This has been a long time coming. It's been a bit chaotic. The calendar is free. Upcoming, we don't have any major life events occurring, so I'm so glad to be back in the kitchen, and I'm gonna ease back into making everything from scratch again. We have eaten down our fridge, our freezer, and our pantry successfully over the last probably about 6 months, which is what I build that homemade food stock for, the ability to be able to use it when we need it. So while I haven't been doing a lot of from scratch cooking since about June, I've still been eating homemade food. It's just been frozen or canned or fresh. We've been eating a lot of fresh. I have woken my sourdough starter up back from the dead and the back of the fridge. I have been harvesting from our garden like crazy, and I've got several things to make today, so come along for the ride. All right, let's go. I cannot believe that I have gray hairs in the front of my head already. Probably all those negative comments on YouTube. Excuse me, doggy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You can stay there. It feels so nice to be back in the kitchen, which is such a weird phrase, but here we are. A company also sent me this whisk wiper. I'm so excited to use it. We're not gonna be using it today, but I can't wait to try it. It has also been a hot minute since I've used my mixer. The last time I used it, I used an attachment. I didn't actually even use the mixer. All right, first things first, we're gonna make sourdough discard bagels. I've got 2 little discard jars. I would like to try to make a double batch of it, so I wanna try to get 2 cups of discard out of this, which it looks like we'll have enough. Then I can wash my discard jars. I really like to try to empty my discard jars once a month. Like empty them completely. That way I can clean and wash them. But I also know people that like never wash their discard jars. That freaks me out a little bit. All right, that's 1 done. And that is 2 down. Okay, awesome. It has honestly just been such a crazy few months. I am so sure that you've heard me say that a million times in my recent videos, and it has really felt like my life has not been together. So I'm really excited to be getting back to somewhat of a normal groove. It has truly been months, and for somebody who thrives on routine, it's been a bit chaotic. Okay, so I've got my sourdough discard, my water, my yeast. I want to add a little bit of honey, which is for sure crystallized, but that's okay. And now comes my bread flour. So this is 6 cups, but then I also pack these containers, so it's a little bit more than 6 cups in here. I eyeball everything. I've gotten into that stage of my cooking. No, that's probably right. That's probably enough. Honestly, it just is what makes the most sense to me. I like to go by the feel of things rather than like following recipes exactly. Which is why it took me so long to write my first cookbook, because I never really had recipes for things. I always just went by vibes. So this is a bit shaggy. That's what I want. So I want it to knead. Yes, I know there's something wrong with my mixer. That noise should not be clicking. I really should send it to Mr. Mixer. Just haven't gotten there yet. Okay, my dough is climbing and it is a little sticky. So I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more flour. Okay. So this is a double batch of dough, which means that this is going to expand a lot. So this is going to go into a different bowl because it will go right over this. And then we're going to make bread in this. So we're going to just reuse the same bowl because it's going to be sourdough bread. All right. Well, this is gonna sit and it's going to double in size. I don't actually think I told you guys what I wanted to make today. Sorry. We're gonna be making sourdough bread, sourdough bagels, protein bars. I'll probably have a nice coffee break. We're gonna make some hard-boiled eggs. I need to shred some cheese. Taking it easy. There's a lot of stuff that I want to make, but that I just know if I plan too much for my first like restock in so long that it will not go as planned. So I'm trying to just take it easy and go from there. All right, so like a cup and a quarter of sourdough starter. This ended up being like a cup and a half, but that's okay. Gotta make sure I get all my sourdough starter out of the cup. A bit over a cup of liquid and like 3 cups of flour. This is just about 3. I'm gonna add a nice pinch of salt and mix it up and see where we're at. And a bit more flour. Every time. Okay. I got some bread here. Now I need a lid for this. Oh my gosh, I'm a mess today. Okay, my bread doughs are done. They'll sit for 2 to 3 hours. Okay, we're doing something I have never done before on this page, and that is seasoning cast iron. I have my first cast iron piece, and it is a cauldron. Smith & Clark does these Halloween cauldrons. This is a 6-quart cast iron cauldron. Makes me very happy. I washed and dried this super thoroughly yesterday. I'm going to season it with avocado oil today. I'm just gonna start with a little. Hoping this is gonna be enough for the inside and the outside. Inside is seasoned and dried of excess. Now I need to season the outside. I'm gonna actually switch to reusable cloth. Oh, that absorbed like all of it, which is okay. I guess that's what I want. Okay. There we go. We are all nice and seasoned. Let's do the lid. Okay. Now let's grab a completely dry towel and go over everything one more time. I got off a lot. Okay. I am gonna put this on a sheet of tin foil on the oven rack. My first round of seasoning is done. Okay, we're gonna make some hard-boiled eggs. So I've been really feeling like an egg sandwich. So I'm just waiting for my water to fill. The unaesthetic parts of a homemade restock. In the meantime, we're going to shred cheese. I'm done with this dough hook. So this is gonna go in the dishwasher. I know I've said it before, but if you do homemade restock, always, always, always keep up with your dishes. Just makes life so easy. Let's get some cheese going. Oh, somebody has arrived. Someone has made her presence known. She saw what was on the counter. Listen, girlie, we have a lot of people that advocate for you to get the cheese tax. So don't worry, I won't forget. I think I would become the most hated creator on YouTube if I skipped a cheese tax. That's a bit dramatic, but it would be very dramatic to Pepper. I buy cheese blocks when they're on sale, and this makes making cheese so cost effective. Also, my favorite part is that I can make it thick cheese, like it's not thinly shredded. So when you're using it like in dishes, you can actually taste it. I don't know, I just feel like the thin shredded cheese doesn't actually, you can't really taste it. So that's one of the main reasons that I do this, other than cost. And I never actually buy the cheese blocks if they're not on sale. When they're on sale is when it makes it a really good deal. I hear you grumbling, girlie. Hold on. the human tax. All right, honey, here's your cheese tax. You are all my witness. Sit. Here you go. Good girl. See, I told you I would never forget a cheese tax. So that was 2 small blocks. I think they're 8-ounce blocks. 2 8-ounce blocks of pepper jack. I mixed some cornstarch in so then it doesn't clump together. If you've ever made homemade cheese without cornstarch, it clumps so easy. Now I use half of a 32-ounce of cheddar cheese. The reason I use half is because it's cheaper to buy the larger blocks. So I use half. And then this goes into the fridge in a sealed airtight bag. And then this will last another 2 weeks. So basically the cheese that I'm shredding now is what will last us in the fridge for about 2 weeks. So then in 2 weeks, this will become the other half of the cheddar cheese, and I have more pepper jack cheese in the fridge. So every 2 weeks I shred cheese, which is exactly how long shredded cheese lasts in our household, but also how long it is before it goes bad. It's kind of harder to do that on stasher bags, but oh, that was pretty successful. Okay, so this goes into the fridge. That was dumb. Okay, try this again. Don't worry, you'll get more cheese tax. Hold on. Okay, so there's the end of that guy. Now I'm just gonna try to mix the cheeses. There's plenty of cornstarch on the pepper jack cheese, so I need to just mix the orange in with it. Spread some of that cornstarch out. Mix the cheese. This is basically the blend that we use whenever we want cheddar cheese in the house. But you can mix and match this and make your own blend for whatever. If you want to make this Mexican cheese like taco cheese, then add like a tablespoon or 2 teaspoons of taco seasoning, and then it's pretty close to Mexican cheese that you'd buy at the store. Or I should say Americanized Mexican cheese. Human tax and dog tax. Here you go. Cheers. Good girl. Hey Google, set an 11-minute timer.
Got it. 11 minutes. And that's starting now.
We're gonna let those boil. Okay, I think after this, I'm just going to make protein bars. But now that I think about it, maybe I'll use this shredder to make some hash browns. We haven't had, we usually make fresh hash browns on the weekends. Oh, sorry guys. The slow fall. Welcome back. Hash browns. Yeah, so we usually make fresh hash browns on the weekend, and it's been literally months since we've had them. So I think I might also make those. So I'll wait to clean this attachment, because if I'm gonna make hash browns, I'll probably just do a quick rinse of this and then do the potatoes in there. So here's our cheddar cheese blend. This will last us 2 weeks in the fridge, and it will mold after 2 weeks, so it has to go. Just so I saw on this stuff, I'll write the date that I make it. That way I know. Cheddar cheese. All done. I also have a pineapple in the fridge that I kind of want to juice. This is what happens. I get excited about being back into a homemade kitchen restock, and then I do a million things on it, and then I'm like, oh my god, I never want to do that again. I need to get back into my routine of doing stuff once a day or every couple days instead of doing a ton in one day. Will I ever learn though? Probs not. Probs not. So we're gonna make protein bars. I need my second KitchenAid bowl. Oh wait, I have to make peanut butter first because I don't have peanut butter for the protein bars. Okay, hold please, I have to go get peanuts. Okay, time to get out the food processor, which I don't really use that often, but it has been cleaned every day for the last week, so I guess I do use it enough. This is dry roasted peanuts, salted already from Planters. So we're gonna have to probably make 2 batches. We're gonna boil it. And it's gonna do this for 15 minutes, so. My timer for my eggs went out, so I need to get these in cold water. I have this cheese bowl, so we're gonna just put them in here and then run cold water over them. Doesn't really matter if the cheese in here because of it, if it melts, because I'm gonna peel these anyways. And I really don't wanna create extra dishes. This is my espresso, my 2 espresso shots with cinnamon, brown sugar, and nutmeg. Stir aggressively. 4. And my favorite touch, glass bow straws from Aldi. My Aldi Isle of Shame. That is a good iced coffee. I'm gonna add the rest of the peanuts to this. Okay. Okay, so now I'm waiting for my food processor to cool down, and I'm gonna just peel these eggs. These eggs are not going down the drain. Once I'm done peeling the eggs, this is all gonna go into the compost bin. It's just so much easier to peel them this way, under the sink, under the running water. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes since my cast iron has been in the oven. So we are going to take it out to let it cool down so we can season it again. Oh, I just died. Okay, I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not. It is still smoking. It looks really nice, really shiny, really glossy though. So that looks great. So we're gonna wait, let this cool down, and then do it again. Here are my hard-boiled eggs. These are glass containers with glass lids from a brand called Any Day. They're so cute. It's like a frosted glass. So I'm excited to add them to my glass storage collection. And then just 2 lonely ones in a Pyrex, which I'm gonna eat for lunch. All right, let's take care of this peanut butter now. This looks so good. Nice and creamy, but still a little chunky just because that's the way that we prefer it. So I need a cup of this for my next recipe. All right, so this made 5 cups of peanut butter. Pretty good. These are gonna go in the fridge. This is staying out for my next recipe. These are gonna go in the fridge. Got oats. I need to turn into oat flour. I need a cup of oat flour. And just like that, now we have oat flour. I'm gonna do 1 more batch of this while everything's dirty. So then the next time I make these, I won't need to make oat flour. Okay, so I got my cup of peanut butter. So I need 1 full cup of oat flour. Now I need protein powder. So 2 scoops is half a cup. Okay, so I did 2 cups of protein powder. We want a pinch, just a pinch of salt. We're gonna do a little bit of vanilla extract, 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. Okay, let's see how that ratio is. We need more peanut butter to bring it together. And a tablespoon of oat milk. It's crumbly, but it's mixed together. You just want to make sure that it will come together when you press it. So dairy-free vegan protein bars are like $3.50 at the store. So I decided this is the perfect thing to just make. They do not look the prettiest, but they don't need to look the prettiest. wonder if a bench scraper. I'm basically just using this as a mold. Let's refrigerate this. Did I miss all of that? I did. All right, you missed all of that. So the only way the pressing of the chocolate chips works is if I press each one individually and upside down. All right, here we go. I need a little bit of time to just reset the kitchen. So I'm just gonna put everything that's gotten taken out away that I no longer need. Okay, round 2 of seasoning the cast iron. So I took a 1 hour-ish midday break to drink my iced coffee, charge my phone, clean up and reset the kitchen, and start the dishwasher. Essential. I also took my cast iron pan out of the oven for the second time, so I'm gonna do one more seasoning and then I think it's gonna be golden. My bread dough looks really good. My bagel dough is almost there. So I'm going to probably do like one little stretch and fold on the bread dough and then that'll be ready soon. And then let the bagel dough sit for a little bit longer. I'm going to shred some potatoes to make some hash browns for the freezer. I think that's it. Oh, I need to cut my protein bars. I'm gonna do that too. Okay, and I need to make pizza dough. Okay, I'm just kidding. I still have a lot to do. I don't really do stretch and folds on my dough at all. Oh, actually, I don't think this needs it. This looks like a pretty... Oh yeah, look at that gluten web. So this is usually how I test if I need to do stretch and folds. Look at that gluten web. Looks great. So I don't need to do stretch and folds. So we're gonna let this sit for a little bit longer. And this is what my bagel dough looks like so far. It has doubled almost. It's not sticky, so it is ready to be shaped, but I wanna get it a little bit bigger. And I've got my brick of bars. Okay, so there's 2 cups of protein powder in here, which means that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 servings. So I need to cut this into 8 pieces. Okay. Now I got protein bars, 8 protein bars. I forgot I was gonna eat these for lunch, so I'm gonna eat them. That is so good. I have been really struggling on a mostly plant-based diet to get enough protein in. So I've started recently incorporating eggs back in and protein bars and stuff like that to try to get my protein up because I've been very bad about it. I also just feel so much better when I eat properly. Who knew? Okay, 6 baking potatoes. I washed them when I first got them, but I'm just doing a quick rinse in the sink. Potatoes are good. I'm gonna wash these in cold water. Typically, I like to do a full-on ice bath. That's just not gonna happen today. So I'm gonna swish these around in nice and cold water. Just trying to get as much starch out. Okay. All right. Dump these back in, then we're gonna cover in hot water and then boil. All right, let's bring this to a boil. Okay, so we're doing pizza tonight, so I always buy fresh mozzarella cheese. These are thin sliced. I like them thin sliced on my pizza. My husband prefers shredded, so I pulled out maybe like half the block for some pieces for us to eat and for my pizza. And then I'm going to shred the rest of this. But it's always so good because it's still fresh mozzarella. You're just gonna have to trust me that I just paid the cheese tax. All of our cheese is shredded for pizzas later. Because we're gonna use it today, I'm not adding cornstarch to it. If it was just gonna be mozzarella for the fridge, I would add cornstarch. Okay, while we're waiting, I need to feed my sourdough starter. I've been saying all day that I need to feed it, and I haven't yet, so we're gonna do that. This dough is gonna be a little sticky. Nice, beautiful dough pole showing off the gluten web. Okay, this is heavy. Okay. Now my bread is gonna proof on the counter for like an hour before I bake it. We're gonna do like maybe like 2 teaspoons of salt, a little bit more water. Start this to mix, and then I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of sugar. Sorry, white sugar. And of course, I'm using my Garaza oil, just olive oil that is so good. Okay, all right. Pop the lid on this, and this will sit and rise. Now, while that was happening, I shut off my hash browns. I need to rinse them. These cooked a bit more than I think I would like, and a bit more than I usually do. Whenever somebody asks why we want to move, this is why. Because we do not have enough counter space. It is my dream to have a very large kitchen island or a peninsula situation. That's what we're looking for. Okay. I'm gonna roll this up, squeeze out water, and it's being absorbed by the many towels right now. Now we are going to flash freeze this. Add another parchment. Okay, now these are gonna go into the freezer for probably about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And then once it's frozen, I'm gonna put it in a reusable bag, in a freezer safe bag. Okay, we've got a new view because my phone died. So I need to be able to film and have it plugged in at the same time. So yes, I know, I need a separate filming camera. I just don't want to when my phone works fine. I've got a double batch of some nice overproof bagel dough. Love it. Actually hate it, but here we are. Don't want to waste dough. So usually when I have stuff that's overproofed, bagel dough makes a really good focaccia, but we do really need bagels. So I'm going to add a lot of flour to this while I'm shaping it. That will help some of the overproof. The bagels will still be flatter than they should be, but I will also not let them proof as long in their bagel shape before I boil them. That's my secret to making them not be super flat. Holy moly. All right, and some nice flour, a lot of it, so it's not sticking to everything in sight. Typically with sourdough bagels, you don't need to add any extra flour to like flour the counter. But when things are overproofed like this, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm just doing a couple like coil bowls to just shape it a little bit, help incorporate that extra flour. Just gonna cut it in half, just so it's a little bit easier to work with. You know what, I think we're gonna do 16 bigger bagels, because 16 fits on 2 sheet pans like perfectly. Then I don't have to get out a third one. It also is really easy then to split the dough and then roll it like I'm shaping a mini loaf of sourdough. And then we want to get some tension going It's easier if you find a spot of the counter that doesn't have flour on it. And then I have a little mound of flour here. Going to shape with the hole, drop it in flour, and then stick it on the parchment. This helps because it's overproofed. This helps it not to stick to the parchment paper. If you've ever made bagels and they've stuck to parchment paper, you know what a pain in the butt it is to get them off of the parchment paper. So this is my hack. Using the tension of the clean counter to create, using the stickiness of the clean counter to create tension, pulling my dough ball out, dropping it onto flour, creating a hole, and then onto the sheet pan. That's it. And then I do that a million more times. It feels so good to be back to Homemade Kitchen Restock, but what does not feel good is the dishes. Our sink is full of dishes and our dishwasher is currently running. It is so much easier if you keep up with dishes during the day. I kind of kept up with dishes during the day. It didn't help that we didn't run the dishwasher yesterday because we didn't have a lot of dishes. So I started the morning with an almost full dishwasher. We should have ran it last night, but that's okay. So because of that, now I have a sink full of dishes, but everything should fit on the second load. And then I can wake up tomorrow, empty the dishwasher, and then be caught up on dishes and have a bunch of homemade delicious food. So that's the goal. This is the first week in several weeks that we don't have anything out of the ordinary and that we're not sick or that we don't have a sick pet. Knock on wood. I hope our cabinets are real wood. So it does feel really nice to get back into a groove of things. It has seriously been at least 6 months since I've done a whole day of Homemade Kitchen Restocking, which if you are a longtime supporter of this channel or any of my other platforms, you know that I homemade restock every week for so long without fail. But we just had literally so much between being sick in all of June and then the first half of July. Then my best friend came up to stay with us for 5 days, and then we immediately went to Florida for my brother's wedding. Then when we came back, I got sick again. Then we finally started to get a little bit of normalcy, and I was helping with a family member's doctor's appointments and driving back and forth, so my work schedule was really messed up. Once that started to get better and started to calm down, then Miss Pepper got sick, and she was sick for several weeks, so a lot of the times she didn't have enough energy to go upstairs. My office is on the second floor, and I was too worried about her. So I would tend to hang out with her on the couch and miss a day of work when I really couldn't afford to miss a day of work. So it was just insanely chaotic. And then she started to feel better, and she's been doing great. And then we were out of town this past weekend for my best friend's wedding. We went down to Tennessee for the weekend. So it has just been thing after thing after thing, which is life. It just is what happens. We're in a very busy season of life. But it is October 15th, a Wednesday. And the next thing on our calendar that is out of the ordinary is our Halloween party. That's it. We have nothing chaotic, no trips planned, no big events or gatherings or anything until November 1st, which means it's the first time in weeks that we have 2 full weeks of just existing and going back to a normal routine, which is so nice. I'm so excited for it. I felt that I had to celebrate with a Homemade Kitchen Restock, and it's been a long time since we've had all of this homemade food at once. I've still been cooking and baking during this time, but it was not all at once. It was hey, we're out of bagels and we don't have anything in the freezer that's breakfast food, so I'm gonna hurry up and make half-assed bagels just so we have something to eat the next day. And then like a week later it'd be the same thing, or it would be that was something else. And I started to go back to buying a lot more convenience foods, which is really hard when you're plant-based. We've done a little bit of that, but then we've also just like eaten down our pantry and our freezer and our fridge. We've been eating a lot of fresh food, a lot of fresh meals, which is exhausting after a while, doing all of the cooking and the cleanup, if I'm being honest. So I'm back to prepping convenience meals for the freezer and prepping some easier things just to have on hand. So we're not buying as much convenience foods. We don't have to cook fresh every single day. We can just reheat. And it is soup season, so I am finally going to be making soups to refill our freezer. I just feel very good about life now. So I'm really hoping that nothing happens to knock us off course. My husband and I were talking about the fact that like this is the first weekend in months where we don't have something to do. So I'm really looking forward to that. And honestly, I'm probably gonna rot all weekend. I hope you enjoyed my mini rant life session while I'm shaping bagels. I have 4 more to shape, and then these are gonna just sit on the stovetop for maybe like a half hour. Let them puff up a little bit, and then I'm going to boil them, and then I'm going to bake them. And then aside from shaping and portioning pizza dough, baking bread, baking the bagels, I'm done. That's everything I wanted to do. I did want to juice the pineapple that we have in our fridge, so I might do that after dinner. I don't know. Not a lot of planning went into this home and kitchen restock. I just said, wow, pizza would be really good. Wow, we haven't had these bagels in a while. Wow, we should make bread. So there was not a lot of planning that went into this, but that's okay. All right, I think you've heard me yap enough. So I will be back when I have something more interesting to say, I guess. Bagels are bageling. I will never clean the stovetop before I make bagels because every single time I get the stovetop so dirty. So I will always make bagels and then clean the stovetop. So ignore how dirty our stovetop is. Pro tip that I recently started doing, I put the bagels in upside down. So then when they come out, I don't have to flip them over. So this is right side up, go like that, and put them in upside down, and then when I flip, they'll be right side up, and then it's easy to get them onto the parchment paper and not squish them, see, no matter what. Maybe it's because I use such a shallow pan. I just love this pan for making bagels, so. Okay, we're gonna do half cheese and half everything. Perfect onion bagels and cheddar bagels. We'll go in after the bread comes out. Okay, we are almost done, which is crazy. I've gotten so much done today. The bread is almost done in the oven. The bagels are ready to go in. I need to do pizza dough. So this is a double batch of pizza dough. Usually we can get out of a double batch 3 pizza dinners. So basically I'll split this giant bowl of dough in half. Nope, I'll split this giant bowl of dough into thirds and then split each third into a half when it comes out of the freezer. So when I portion this out, I'm gonna split it into thirds, and then I'm gonna make dough balls out of the 2 of the 3 thirds. And those are gonna go into freezer bags right in the freezer. When I'm going to use them, I take them out of the freezer like maybe around lunchtime if I know I want it for dinner. And then sits out, and then it will rise, it will double again, and then that's when I'll shape it, and then it will be our pizza crust. Okay, so I just added a little bit of flour. Not a lot, you don't need a lot. And this is the pizza dough recipe in my cookbook. Holy moly, except today it's very sticky. Probably because I was really bad about actually measuring flour today, as in I did not measure flour today on really like any of my recipes. Here it is. Here's my double batch of pizza dough. Just trying to get it into somewhat of a ball. And I just flatten my dough just because it makes it easier in the freezer. You could keep it a ball if you want to. Okay, our pizza sauce from the freezer is defrosting in a pot. The pizza doughs are nice and spread out to make 2 little pizzas. My bread came out, it looks really good. My bagels, I have to rotate just to switch them. These are also looking really good. These probably have another 10 minutes to bake. Hey Google, how much time is left on my timer?
It looks like you don't have any timer set at the moment.
That sounds about right. Set a 10-minute timer.
Okay, 10 minutes. Starting now.
I'm gonna cut an onion for my husband because he likes onion on his pizza. Today was such a good restock to get back into it. I've been in the kitchen now for maybe like 5 hours. I've just been taking my time, going pretty slow. Getting back into the groove. I took a pretty long lunch break. I usually do eat while I work, I would say, for the most part. So it was nice to actually like take a break. So I made 16 bagels, a whole loaf of sourdough bread, 8 protein bars, 4 cups of peanut butter, a whole jar of oat flour for my next recipe, pizza dough for dinner tonight, and then for 2 more dinners, potentially more because leftovers. What else did I do? I definitely did more than that. I shred cheese. I hard-boiled eggs. Yeah, I think that's it. So tonight, once the bread cools and the bagels cool, they'll be sliced and put in the freezer. The bread will stay out because I think that's what we'll have for breakfast for the next couple days. And then dishes have to be done. I think I might still juice some pineapple. I actually might do it now because I'm at a little bit of a holding point. Let's do it now. I'm so glad we didn't end up eating this pineapple. It's so light. So hopefully this will make some good juice at least. Oh my god, that's so good. Here are my cheese bagels, my onion bagels, and my bread. Pizzas are in the oven, almost done, just a little bit longer. So after dinner, we're going to slice the bagels, put them in the freezer, and then I might slice a piece of bread and eat a piece of bread. You can't go outside, honey, Dad's weed whacking. And then the big task is that mess. The juicer is clean, it just needs to go back downstairs. These have to be cleaned, all of that has to go into the dishwasher along with those. We have 92 minutes left on the dishwasher load, so we'll empty this and then reload it, and then we should be good. Fridge is stocked. We've got homemade pineapple juice, we've got the protein bars, hard-boiled eggs, the onion that I chopped, the cheese, and then we'll have all that. Okay, so this was a pretty successful homemade kitchen restock to get me back into the groove of things. It feels so good to be back to be doing these things. I just feel like I'm back in my element. So I can't guarantee that I'll be doing long videos like this every week. Now that I have some time to breathe, I want to also just like enjoy the peace and quiet and life. So I will be getting back to my regular 2 YouTube videos a week schedule soon, I promise. Just give me another couple weeks to get in the groove. That's all for today. Oh, hold on. A moment for the cast iron cauldron. It is beautiful. I did 3 rounds of seasoning it. It is so nice. We'll start making some big batches of soup in it. That's all I got for you today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Happy homemade restocking, and I'll see you next time.